Well, hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to 2C TV, your global news channel. I'm Maya 2C and we come to you guys with some more breaking news coming from the conflict between India and Pakistan, as the Pakistanis have now, surprisingly not, broken the ceasefire. First things first, as you can tell, I'm not actually in our home studio. I'm actually out, and obviously even if I do my own life, if something like this happens, I'm gonna have to bring the report to you guys wherever I am, and of course we will continue to do it this way before the mainstream media. I was actually wrong earlier today, because obviously we did the first live report, which was the Pakistanis begged the Americans to help with the ceasefire. I was wrong because I thought the ceasefire will last about 9 hours, 12 hours. No, it only lasted about 15 minutes. And of course, the Pakistanis broke it and decided to attack India. We have a number of videos we're going to go through as we speak. Parts of Jammu is actually already in, they have a blackout. Pakistanis are attacking India. The Indians are now retaliating massively with drones and missiles. The first video we're going to show you is the drones that were launched at Akhnur. This is near Jammu. Shortly after the announced ceasefire happened. Some people thought that was a mistake. Some people thought that, well, might have been a miscommunication. They didn't know that a ceasefire has been confirmed, but the attacks continue and continue and continue. Pakistan are effing around and soon they will find out. Let's go to the first video from Ahmed.
Again.
So the drones will be seen, and there are some videos that it will be very dark, but you can hear the sound. So some of the stuff that I'm going to show you guys. But first things first, let's talk about what's actually been going on. So Pakistan initially launched the suicide drones that were given to them by Turkey against the civilian targets in the Jammu area of India. This was the initial moment where we realized the ceasefire has been broken, which was only a few minutes after the announcement. In fact, when I was giving you guys the first update earlier today about the ceasefire being confirmed, towards the end of that live stream, we got the update about Jammu. And I was like, okay, well, I'm not surprised, but I thought, benefit of the doubt, I thought that some elements of the Pakistani army didn't know that the whole thing was fully confirmed. And I thought it's gonna stop, but seems like it's not stopping. And we also have a video statement from the Indian army, which we're gonna show you in a minute, confirming what is actually going on. The next video we're gonna show you is the Pakistani forces continue to attack Indian positions in the RS Park sector of Jammu and Kashmir. They are not just using the drones that they got from Turkey, but also heavy artillery. And let's quickly go to that video. Of course, if you're watching live, we're going to get your reaction as usual as well. It's very dark, but you can hear the sound. So yeah, the heavy artillery can also be heard, as well as the drones that are mostly being intercepted by the Indian air defense system, which has been very, very effective over the last few days. Let's not forget that obviously we are talking about the conflict in general, but a lot of civilians in India, a lot of innocent Hindus continue to get targeted. A number of them have already lost their lives. Even tonight, we are getting some updates about the number of casualties, but we will get that confirmed and verified before giving you guys the actual number. This is where the Indian Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri confirmed that Pakistan broke the ceasefire agreements within minutes of the actual announcement. By the way, before we show you this, we're also going to bring you guys in a minute the Prime Minister of so-called Pakistan, Shehbaz Sharif, because he's now declared a victory. He's now literally self-identifying as a winner. Not really sure if that's how it works, but let's go to India and see what they say.
For the last few hours,
There have been repeated violations of the understanding arrived at earlier this evening between the Directors General of Military Operations of India and Pakistan. This is a breach of the understanding arrived at earlier today. The armed forces are giving an adequate and appropriate response to these violations, and we take very, very serious notice of these violations. We call upon Pakistan to take appropriate steps to address these violations and deal with the situation with seriousness and responsibility. The armed forces are maintaining a strong vigil on the situation. They have been given instructions to deal strongly with any instances of a repetition of the violations of the borders along the international border as well as the line of control. Thank you.
Yes, so firstly, I can already see some people who've just joined the live stream and they're wondering where I am in a secret undisclosed location, which, by the way, some people are assuming I'm on the toilet. This is not... It's more likely to be a tunnel in Gaza than a bathroom, but I'll cover that in a minute. Calm down, guys. Let's talk about what's happening, because India's Chief Minister of Jammu also has been obviously confirming what's been going on in Kashmir as well, following the latest videos, because of course the Indian air defenses are very hard at work. Again, a lot of the videos I'm about to show you, it's just very dark. You can hear the sound, or sometimes you could just see the drones flying. Let's quickly go to the next clip and then we're going to come back.
Two, three.
So, of course, a very, very busy night in both India and Pakistan right now as we speak. There is more reaction. As I said, I'm going to show you soon the Prime Minister of Pakistan, the message he sent out, he obviously addressed the nation during the live speech. They showed it across the world, but he was primarily targeting his own audience to energize the Pakistani people by declaring a victory against India, which is obviously not true. But again, we have to talk about what's actually happening on the streets, because again, these are the clashes we're going to show you. Again, this is going to be a dark video, just sound. Clashes in several cities in the Indian Kashmir. And of course, as Pakistani forces continue to break the ceasefire, there's absolutely no actual reaction when it comes to media from Pakistan so far, which is absolutely fascinating. They're continuing to declare victory. They continue to say, and actually some of the parts of the government of Pakistan are basically saying, yeah, it's so good to have a ceasefire, while they are literally targeting civilians in India. Watch the next, go to the next one. So unfortunately, for a lot of innocent people throughout, well, for the rest of the night, it's getting close to morning now in India. They are relying on the Indian air defense system, which is doing a good job generally. But of course, if you're in that position, you know, they will be living in fear every moment. This is not the first time they've gone through this, but you know, when you're living in a tough neighborhood, let's just say, as India does in that region, of course, you have to be prepared. Now, tensions are rising as we speak. Both sides, apparently, they are accusing each other as using ballistic missiles. We do know that Pakistan have used ballistic missiles because they showed us the videos, but also drones are being used by both sides. Air raid sirens and defense systems have been activated in several regions. And of course, fighter jets can also be heard and seen. Let's quickly go to the next clip that we have from India.
इधर आए जल्दी मामा किधर है इधर आए इधर आए
So that was a moment of one of the interceptions that happened by the air defense. So all this is happening, and there is a retaliation from the Indian army, and already we are getting reports from Pakistan that, of course, they are the victims and India are being the bad guys again, even though India stopped the fighting a few hours ago when the ceasefire was confirmed until Jammu was being attacked again. So this is actually a large-scale Pakistani drone attack. This is over Singapore, with the Indian air defense actively responding. This video is slightly more visible in terms of the lighting. Let's quickly watch this and then we're going to come back. Yeah. Now, should we talk about the Prime Minister? Should we? I think it's time. Let's do it. Why not? Oh, dear God. Now, Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif is now self-identifying as a winner, because these days you can self-identify as whatever you want. They literally begged the Americans to do the deal, to mediate the deal with India, and then he made a speech while his army started and continued to attack civilians in India. He made a speech, a victorious speech, congratulating the people of Pakistan. And let's just watch this together. Why not?
I want to say congratulations to you and my salam as well. You have also made the world aware of this, that the Pakistanis are a very respected and a pride nation. Our respect, our pride, and our independence. We are always, if somebody challenges our independence, we will do anything for the defense, and we will just be like a wall made out of mirror, and La ilaha illallah, and we say this from our heart, and we just jump on the enemy. And in the past few days, the enemy, whatever the enemy has done with us, this was being covered, and this was shameless as well. This was an aggression that was just emphasized by them, and our army, who are very brave, and they, in a very professional way, they gave a complete answer to them, and they retaliated.
I think that's enough. I think that's, I mean, seriously, what is going on with Pakistan? Okay, so while this is happening, it is fascinating how the anti-Trump side have found a good opportunity to blame this on President Trump. Now, first things first, it's not Trump's fault. You can't trust Pakistan anyway. There are so many people who are saying that, well, Trump got humiliated. Trump doesn't get humiliated. He did his job. You know, he made an attempt to mediate between the two nations. It's better than not trying. That's all he did. It's not the job, it's not the fault of Trump that, for example, Modi and Sharif accepted the ceasefire deal. If you're an Indian and you're angry at the ceasefire, focus on your government. If you're Pakistani and you don't like the ceasefire, actually they like the ceasefire until they broke it, focus on your government. Trump did his job. Trump didn't force anybody into a ceasefire. He just mediated it. And of course, both sides agreed. Both governments agreed. So whichever country you're from, if you want to be angry at the ceasefire, be angry at your government for accepting it. So it's not that Trump got humiliated. This is just the classic mainstream media. The liberals are going out there trying to find the excuse to blame Trump. It's better than not trying. Now, obviously in hindsight, Pakistan was never going to stick to it. But actually, this is more humiliating for Pakistan than ever before. Regardless of what this idiot says, the Prime Minister, that Pakistan is respected around the world. I mean, sure, if you believe that, again, you can self-identify as whatever you want. that it doesn't make it true. So let's go to the next clip. This is the Pakistani air defense system, actually, that's now currently activated in the Harian area of Punjab. So the whole thing is no longer just about the imminent border area, but also around the border in each territory. Let's go to next clip. Yeah, so while the Indians have now started to retaliate, rightly so. First, it's going to be a long night now until obviously the morning and everything else. But the reality of the situation is every single time that the Indians have to go through this, the Indian side, the army and the government get scrutinized massively by the international media. Why are the media side in the West not holding the Pakistanis to account? We've already exposed the funeral with the terrorists and the links with the government. We've already exposed the lies from the Pakistani government when it came to saying they shut down 50 fighter jets. I mean, it's embarrassing. The media are not doing their job, and of course they're just simply doing a one-sided attack on Modi and Trump. So let's get some reaction from you guys while we wait for more updates. First Super Chat, thank you very much, saying once Pakistan is defeated, it will be a great place to relocate anyone from Palestine. Well, first there has to be a place called Palestine first. There's no place called Palestine, so there's no need to do that. David says, I hate war. Pakistan is done. India has proven it. They're going to beg for another ceasefire. There's no other option. They're going to have a ceasefire. They can't keep continuing this because India is going to hammer them. Viman says, as an Indian, I'm glad they broke the ceasefire. They need to bring an end to Porky Land as we know it. Obviously, don't keep their words. The Islamic side don't keep their word. And we knew this was going to happen. Egg on Trump on this one. It's not, I get that a lot of Indians are now angry. But firstly, be angry at the ceasefire. But actually be happy that it's broken. I get that. I'm on your side. But again, it's not really just on Trump. The media wants you to just focus on Trump. Now, we could criticize Trump on so many other things. But he did what he was supposed to be doing. As the world leader, they wanted him to do something. And he just did some sort of rush deal. It was an attempt. Now, perhaps he knew that Pakistan was going to break it anyway. Perhaps he already had a conversation with Modi. And that's probably why they did it, to make Pakistan look more ridiculous. So it's never as simple as it seems. Yeah, as I say, you could criticize Trump on so many other things, but what else was he going to do? He wasn't going to bomb Pakistan. He wasn't going to stay out of it completely. Somebody expected somebody to do something. Mustard says, I hope Mowgli is all right. There's another super chat saying, uncle gave his, what? Something else. And AR says, I don't know why India agreed to a ceasefire just after 3 days. Pakistani army is a terrorist organization in disguise. In a few days, it will be business as usual for these people. Pakistani Prime Minister already claiming victory. Shame. This is the point. If you want to be angry at anybody for the ceasefire, if you're an Indian, question your government. But again, as I said, not everything is what it seems on the surface. Perhaps, if you're going to go through the rabbit hole, perhaps there was a conversation between Modi and Trump, because obviously they're friends, and they knew what was going to happen. They knew that Pakistan is going to break it if you do a wishy-washy ceasefire. This ceasefire deal was so quick. Usually you have to negotiate for a long time, right? And so perhaps both the Americans and the Indians knew, let's just do it because we know the Pakistanis are going to break it. And then India has every right to carry on. Then at that point, India is fully justified to attack. Again, I know I'm sort of seeing a positive, but none of it makes any sense. Why the so-called ceasefire was negotiated so quickly, and why India accepted it. Again, instead of blaming Trump, why did India, the Indian government, accept it? It's not something that you would expect Modi to just randomly agree to, right? He's not that stupid. He's not a stupid man. He's not going to look at Shahbaz Sharif in Pakistan and say, well, he's a good man, he's going to agree to a ceasefire. Perhaps they knew Pakistan was always going to break it anyway. Or something else. Mustard says, Trump tried, they both agreed, job done, then Pakistan launched rockets. The outcome is important. Ceasefire's been broken, India, go in, destroy. Defend your country, always self-defense. Never start a war, but if somebody starts a war, finish it. Don't agree. So you go against Trump and the US and India, what? And thus US and India get sanctions. You expect the US president to be more measured and brief. But as I said, that's why none of it made sense. Like on the surface, how did it get negotiated so quickly? And how did both sides agree to it so quickly? So it's definitely something else that happened. Let's get another reaction. Although Trump publicly taking credit for it quickly might have not been a good idea. David said, OBL hid in Abbottabad for years. Karma is funny. We also have another super chat here saying, Gay Pride Pakistan 2025. Tell Abdul to bring the missus and the kids next year in Islamabad. Gay Pride in Islamabad. That would be funny. Does the threat of China have anything to do with India agreeing to ceasefire? How do you see China's role folding? So they're still not doing much publicly. Obviously, China has backed India. China's backed Pakistan. We know that. It's still not really in a vicious way. Not in a, we are backing Pakistan, so we're going to threaten India directly. But India and China are always at odds. We know that. So I don't think it's fully that, but I think the consequences of the conflict with China being next door is a sensitive region, obviously. And the Americans are dealing with China separately on a separate matter. And I guess it's probably not in the interest of the Western world for this to drag China into the conflict in any shape or form. I mean, right now Turkey is involved because they keep giving drones to Pakistan and refuelers. Yeah, I mean, it's never a good idea to somehow get China to get dragged in when you're living next door to India. Clark Kent says, Pakistan believe they won in Call of Duty. Brilliant. Lulu's Late says, Pakistan will probably stop retaliating if people stop making memes. But Pakistan keeps making memes. To be fair, there's also a massive, as we speak, massive cyber attack by both sides on each other's websites, government websites. It's crazy what's going on by both Pakistan and India. As we said, there is also confirmation that most parts of Jammu is in blackout in India right now. Candace, let's get some non-super chats. These are the crazy comments. Candace says, are you in confession? It kind of looks like it. Yeah, no. Patricia says, no difference between Pakistan and Hamas, who always disregarded ceasefires. It's just an Islamic thing. Ceasefire is defined in Israel as we cease, they fire. That's a good one. I love that. But ceasefire doesn't really go with the mentality of Islam, because obviously the whole ideology is based on sword. It's constant violence. Obviously, they're not going to accept the ceasefire. They don't understand the meaning of it. Well, what they see, as Patricia said, your side will do ceasefire, we will continue to fire. Kosa says that they are truly the most untrustworthy group of people on the planet today. Islamists, and I think their day has come. I think the planet is sick of them. Well, again, if you talk about the militant extremists of Islam, yes, the backlash has already started. If you talk about the actual ideology, this is just the beginning. A lot of people have not really noticed, but this ideology has been going on since the 7th century, unchallenged. There was a moment they were challenged by the Crusades, but then it kind of died off because they went back to mostly the Middle East and North Africa, and the world was isolated. It's only the last few decades, mid to the end of 20th century, because of mass migration, people in the West especially were exposed to more Islamic mentality, right? And now with the age of the internet and AI and everything else, we actually finally have a counter argument. People are finally challenging the same ideology that went unchallenged, ideologically went unchallenged for centuries. So there is hope. Stephen says, thoughts and prayers for our Commonwealth brothers, the good side. Never freedom without blood. Be safe, India. Yes. Spaceman24 says, he's out for a meal. That's me, apparently. Danielle thinks he's just using the loo. This is not a toilet. Does this actually look like a bathroom? Actually, it does. It does, doesn't it? What's going on down there? I'm just somewhere secretive. We are out. Yes, we are out. And this is my dedication to you guys. Even if I'm out, I actually have a gin and tonic here. I will have to do your breaking news. Wherever I am, I'm always ready, on standby, to bring you guys detailed, with the help of our team, to verify all the stories. We'll bring you guys the analysis of everything that happens. Moses says, Pakistan used a Takir card on Trump. Yeah, basically. I am from India. Thank you for the support. We are also suffering from the cancer. That's Islamic ideology. Thank you very much. I hope you guys stay safe in India. What's this? Yes, I am in Pakistan. There is fire everywhere. We are shivering. What? Our airports are destroyed. Our chief of army is captured. Our prime minister is mourning. We Pakistanis are begging for mercy. I was going to take it seriously. I was like, where is this going to go? Brilliant. It says 828,000 subscribers. I think you are starting to touch the Indian population. Finally, we're getting into the Indian market. Actually, it still says 827. I need to fix this. There we go. Almost 8,000 new subscribers since yesterday. It's still going up. It's coming home, guys. Thank you so much for all the support. What is this? Insidious Slaughter says that everything you said sounds cool. Uh-oh. Except for the stupid comment about Egon Trump. I didn't say that. I said I defended him. I said the opposite. Absolutely zero truth to it unless you're just someone who doesn't like Trump and tries to find anything to blame on him. Oh, it's okay. Guys, don't worry. Insidious Slaughter must be one of the new viewers. Doesn't know about my feelings towards one of the greatest presidents in history of America, President Trump, with the massive Trump bust that I have in our home studio. It's okay, he probably thinks I'm anti-Trump for some reason. Don't worry, it's fine, everything is fine. I defended Trump, by the way, even though I didn't have to. Tusi, I bet you would kiss Trump's ass if the tango guy asked. Behave. This is, you see what I have to deal with on a daily basis. This is the job that I have. You think this is easy? That's why I have to drink gin and tonic at the same time. Getting grey hair everywhere. Because whatever you say, one side are going to call you a fascist, the other side are going to call you a communist. One side is going to call me a Jew, the other one is going to call me a Muslim. It's just embarrassing. I can't keep everybody happy, can I? Anyway, can we focus on the actual bad guys in this whole situation? And I'm not talking about Pakistan. I'm talking about the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, for once again bailing out Pakistan, giving them billions of dollars. We covered that earlier today. But that's one of the reasons the Pakistani government and the army became arrogant. Again, they got the money they wanted, and now they're doing this mess. You can't trust the globalist idiots. All right. Let's go back to some sane comments while we are here. Oh, there's so many super chats coming in. Guys, slow it down. India agreed to ceasefire due to potential nuclear escalation. Yeah, I guess, but it was still naive. The only thing that makes sense is that India knew Pakistan was going to break it. So it's not going to get to nuclear. It's not. I mean, I know the Pakistanis could lose their mind, but no. Those self-proclaimed human rights protectors are going to protest against this attack on civilians in Jammu and Balochistan? No. None of the Western liberal leftist wokey weirdos are going to be protesting in support of the Indians. No. Super chat from Israel. I've been watching your channel for a while now. I wanted to say thank you for your amazing work and much love from Israel. Thank you, Mossad. Thank you so much again. Colin says, that Pakistani Prime Minister made no sense whatsoever. I think he was just winging it. The guy, nothing that he said made sense. Everything he said was the exact opposite of reality. If you join the live stream later on, just rewind back to when I showed you the speech from Prime Minister Sharif. Literally any sentence that he said, it was the opposite of what was actually going on. Pilgrim Media says the horrors of a human slaughter in no small matter. And Cynthia says, congrats on 827,000. Cynthia, check the numbers. 828 now. You won't have to hug a kidney now to pay for your honeymoon. Oh, unfortunately, the honeymoon is going to cost so much. I mean, it's what we have in mind is, let's just say we're going to Florida for like 2 weeks. And everything we have is going to go towards the honeymoon. Anyway, let's get back to you guys. Jacob says, the people of the oppressed nations of Pakistan, like Balochistan and the Pashtuns, don't support the Pakistani army. Even Afghans stand with India because it's the Pakistanis that destroyed Afghanistan for dollars. When the Taliban tells you off, you know you have a problem. Stu says, how many airports will Tahir Ali want now? This is in case you don't know, a number of so-called British MPs, technically, they're not actually British, UK MPs have been campaigning in the House of Commons in London for this new airport in Pakistan. I think there's no need for that airport because I think India has now destroyed that land, that field. So, oopsie. Lula says, $5 on India. I'll put more money on that. Come on. Trump. Good one. And Dean says, for the honeymoon. Thank you from Australia. Dean from Australia. You don't have to give me super chats. Because, the money doesn't go to me, in case you don't know. It goes to the channel, to the business, to the family, the company, the team, and everybody else. Anyway, so that's the latest. I'm still out. I got my gin and tonic, which I've only had a couple of sips. So while the conflict continues, the Indians are very good at defending their country. Well done, the Indian Defense Forces. And of course, we're going to keep you guys posted when I get back home to our home studio at some point, and especially tomorrow. If you want to get more out of the channel, because we have a lot of new subscribers, please join our independent platform, 2CTV Plus. You can get it by going on 2c.tv. If you join today, you will get 1 month free membership. If you join on an annual basis, you get access to all the premium shows and of course the chat forum if you want to talk to me directly. I'm Maya Tusi and we are the media.